Hello, today I want to show you some of my lenses. This is kind of a comparison. This one is the Sony Zeiss 24 to 70 f4 lens. Has Zeiss brand on the left of the lens. This is useless, but on eBay. But because I haven't been using the A7S II in the past year since I got GH5, I kind of just abandoned my A7S II, and I haven't shot much with Sony cameras since then. And I thought it's a shame. It's a pity you can't just leave the camera collecting dust on the shelf forever. Somehow gotta make it work. And I don't really shoot with the prime and the manual all that much, and the only lens that is available for my A7S II currently is the Samyang 24 f1.4, which is manual and prime, which is what I'm using to shoot this video right now because it's stationary. I don't have to move around. I just set up a tripod and everything's in focus. I know exactly where is the focus. I don't have to worry about stuff. But when I'm out shooting photos and videos on a trip with friends, I prefer zoom lens as well as autofocus lens. So that's why I bought this lens. It's very cheap, very cheap, from eBay secondhand. It's kind of beaten up, all this scars and the scratches and stuff, but it doesn't matter. The optics is great. Yeah, that's what matters. And so I'm gonna talk about the differences between this one and my trusty Panasonic Leica lenses, the similarities and the differences. First of all, this lens is actually I chose this lens is because it's very compact and lightweight compared to other full frame standard zoom lens. Like I've owned the Tamron 28 to 75. I recently sold that one because I'm not using it as much because I prefer 24mm as a starting point. So 28 was a little bit limited. I found that I don't use that lens that much, although it is a fantastic lens, absolutely fantastic lens. It's just I prefer 24mm to start. And this one is quite a bit smaller than the Tamron. Tamron is a bit very long, so kind of feel like it's a little bit chunky in my hand with this setup with the Tamron. So this is much more compact, especially when you take off the lens hood. It is much smaller setup than the Tamron. I don't know if I should change the focus forward a little bit so you can see it better. Okay. And when you zoom in, right, the barrel extends, but not too much. It feels just very well balanced on the A7S II, and it's a pretty hefty, so all metal, full metal build. It has a little bit weight to it. It's not heavy by any means, but it has a little bit hefty. And I think it's like 400 grams. 400 grams or something, a bit over 400. And we have the Leica 12 to 60mm, the pretty nice range that is like a 25 to 120 range. And this one is only 300 grams, so it's 100 grams lighter. And this one is 100 grams heavier. Not a huge difference, but it feels absolutely, you can feel it's heavier. But yeah, I like it because it's compact. F4 is pretty good in full frame. Like people frown upon F4 lenses, but for full frame, F4 is actually really good. Like a lot of people are so spoiled by fast lenses nowadays, especially a lot of third-party lenses are so cheap. You can get a very nice prime or zoom with a very fast aperture. So people kind of forget how good just F4 is. I think F4 is really decent, especially with the A7S II. It has a very good low light. I'm not afraid of shooting in any condition with F4. So definitely very usable for just about any situation. And you can create some nice smooth bokeh at 70mm f4 as well. So speaking of which, we have the, let's do a little bit of comparison. Preview comparison. I'm gonna review this Zeiss lens someday, at some point, when I get to use it a little bit more. Right now I just received it like a few days ago. I haven't shot much with this lens, but I'm gonna do a little bit of comparison. You know, Zeiss versus Leica. Kind of did not, you know, original. Like this is like a Panasonic and a Leica corporation, but you can call it Leica lens. And so yeah, we can compare these two first because they're all standard zoom and they are all like almost kit lens, like a premium kit lens. So this Leica goes to from 12 to 60 millimeter, 24 to 120. So in terms of range, this one wins absolutely. And also it's lightweight, it's small, compact, just like the Zeiss, except that it's smaller because of Micro Four Thirds. And yeah, it's just a beautiful build, just like the Zeiss. I like the build, by the way. I like the build. I prefer the aesthetic design, the look of the lens, the Zeiss lens, much more over the Tamron design. The Tamron design, I don't know, it's I just don't like the look of it. It's a beautiful lens, but it's not the style. I prefer this kind of a just metal and very clean look. It doesn't have any weird curves and stuff. Okay, so let's talk about the aperture. So the aperture on the Leica 12 to 60 goes from f2.8 to f4. So this one is gonna suck a little bit. f2.8 to f4 is gonna be pretty slow for Micro Four Thirds because you know, small sensor gathering light is a little bit difficult. And f2.8 to f4 is a variable aperture. It doesn't help. f4 is pretty terrible at low light. It's very difficult to shoot like indoor portrait when people are moving, especially when you're shooting an event. People are moving. You want to capture the moment. You can't use this lens f4. It is really difficult. You're gonna get very blurry images on GH5, for example. So yeah, there's a little bit of difficulty, but I have much more faith in shooting that like a low light situation with this lens, with this setup, because it's full frame A7S2 low light king and stuff. So yeah, this depth of field is gonna be like about f5.6 to f8 in terms of full frame. So yeah, the bokeh in terms of bokeh is not gonna be crazy, not gonna be really outstanding or anything. And just yeah, bokeh is there, but you can get really up close with this lens, so you can actually create some subject separation very well when you're getting up close to your subjects. Yeah, I really like this lens, and also beautiful build. And now let's talk about this big lens, big Panasonic Leica 10 to 25 millimeter lens. So this one, in terms of apertures, it's more comparable to the Zeiss lens because it's a constant f1.7, so that translates to a depth of field equivalent of f3.5, f3.4 in full frame. So it's very similar depth of field with these two lenses, but this one has a more interesting zoom range. It goes from 20 millimeter full frame equivalent to 50 millimeter full frame equivalent, and also it's very beautifully built lens, this one. Right, let me try to show you better. Now I'm gonna just talk about like lens. How do I put things in the center? Yeah, this way, I guess. Okay, I've been shooting off center the whole time, I guess. Anyways, okay, here. Let's change the focus point a little bit. Focus on the lens. Yeah, I really love this focus clutch thing. It's beautiful. The manual focus on this thing is just fantastic. I love shooting manual focus with this lens, even though it has a very good autofocus feature. I just love shooting manual focus because it's so precise. I love this linear focus as well, even though it's fly-by-wire. It is just very precise. It's not like other fly-by-wire that changes speed when you turn the ring faster. The pace of the changing of the focus goes faster. It's weird. And this one is very solid. You just turn wherever you turn. It is there. It doesn't change based on the speed, how fast you turn the ring. So it's fantastic. I love this. And yeah, it's a very interesting, very unique focal range as well. That's why I chose this lens as well. Although it looks really big, in terms of volume, it is much bigger than the other two lenses. But it's actually not that heavy. It's not that heavy. So it's pretty cool. It's also metal build, but I think the build quality, in terms of a build quality, just sheer the engineering kind of or quality of the material and the assembly, I think the Sony is better. It's just more ragged. Like it feel like it's something just doesn't break ever. How do I find a focus? Oh god. Yeah, this Sony lens is just a chunk of metal, just something you can't break. As opposed to this thing, it feel like, okay, this is metal, but I said it's light because it's hollow in here. It is hollow, and there are a lot of cases where this part of the lens is detached or kind of it's loose. It is actually just glued on to the base of the lens, so inside is hollow. And yeah, that's what I don't like. Is a lot of the lens. When I first got this lens, I got a bad copy. That this part was very loose. You can just kind of pull it back, and you see a big gap here. And then I changed it. I got a new copy, and still you can see a little bit. You can pull it back a little bit. I don't want to do that, but you can create a gap here. So that's what I don't like at this build order. It's an expensive lens. Right now it goes for 1,500, 1,600 euro new. So the build order is kind of unforgivable for this kind of price. They really should have done a better job. But I guess they want to keep the lens lightweight. That's why it looks big and chunky, but it is really light. Maybe they cut some corner in terms of a build quality. It looks like a very well built. It is a very well built lens, but the quality, it's just not sturdy. I feel like I don't want to damage this lens. I want to really baby this lens as opposed to this kind of lens. This Sony Zeiss 24-70 is a full metal, and there's no any buttons or clutch or whatsoever. It's on electric. Yeah, you can just do whatever and never have to baby this lens. It's solid. Feels very solid in your hand. So this is what I like about this lens, and what I don't like about this lens. That's the only disadvantage of this lens, is that actually the build order. I'm playing StarCraft. The build quality. Sorry. Okay. And also another thing I didn't mention is that this Zeiss lens is actually parfocal. Crazy, isn't it? Yeah. Very little people talk about the parfocal feature on this lens probably because it's not built for videography. And when this lens came out, Sony was not recognized as the best video camera yet. So not many people talk about parfocal with this lens. I saw some review talking about parfocal, but it's like a surprise. It is actually parfocal. When you turn into a manual mode, you can zoom in and out, and the focus stay the same. It's fantastic. So that is also true for both these two Leica lenses. They are all parfocal. So that is fantastic. This is parfocal. This is parfocal. It's wonderful. And I don't know about this Leica 12-60, how it is achieved, mechanical wise or software, because this one I know for sure the 10-25mm is the parfocal is achieved by software. Like it is not optically parfocal, but when you are in manual focus, it actually will adjust to the focus point you previous have when you zoom in and out. on its own. It's kind of a sneaky secret function, something going on behind the scenes. So it is not optically parfocal, but it will adjust to make it appear a parfocal or make it function as a parfocal. So far, it works pretty well. As long as you find the focus points. Yeah, I don't have anything to complain about for parfocalness. I use this in manual focus all the time and zooming in and out all the time, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah, this lens is super fun to use. And this one too, and right now I'm more kind of using this on the GX85 because it's more balanced on that small camera, and it's kind of my second camera, backup camera. It's also lightweight travel camera. It's very fantastic. And what else do I have to talk about? I think we covered all of the main things, the difference and stuff. The price. All right, the price. We talked about the price of this lens. Very expensive, right? 1,600 euro right now. This one, the Zeiss, when it came out, it was very expensive as well. I don't remember, but it was well over 1,000 euro/dollar. So it was kind of definitely overpriced. Like anything with a Zeiss label on it is overpriced, unfortunately, and the quality is not necessarily the best because a lot of people complain about the optics of this lens. The Zeiss lens is not sharp on the edges, and it's kind of a disappointment. But so far, maybe the edges are not as sharp, but so far I don't have much to complain about because I just got this lens a few days ago, and I still need to shoot more. But I don't think it's a big problem for me. So because I don't shoot that many photos and many shoot videos, so the corner sharpness is actually it doesn't matter as much as in photos. And yeah, this is super overpriced. And if you want to buy new copy is probably still 800 euro or something. On secondhand market is probably around 500 euros, 400 euro. And I got this very cheap. It's below 400 euros, so I got very lucky. I got a very good deal. Yeah, great lens. And speaking of image quality, I wanted to say something. What did I want to say? I don't remember. Right. I wanted to say that I can actually use this setup to shoot photo as well because A7S2 it has a very low resolution, megapixel count to 12 megapixel, but I got the AI upscaling software. I can upscale the resolution. So right now I just go around and shoot photo with this setup. I don't care. It's 12 megapixel. You can enlarge it in post and make it 192 megapixel if you want, but that's too much. You can just do a quadruple megapixel. I think it works pretty well. Add a lot of detail and sharpness into your image, and you can zoom in a lot with after upscaling with AI. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, this is basically. It used to be just a video camera, but now with this software, I can use it as a photo camera as well as video camera. Plus 12 megapixel itself isn't too shabby at all. Like it's totally fine shooting photos for social media, for posting, I don't know, Reddit, Twitter, YouTube. It's totally fine, 12 megapixel. It's totally fine. So plus AI upscaling is more than enough. That's for sure. So yeah, that is it. That's my little bit of updates and comparison among all these three lenses, very similar lenses. Obviously, this one has a very interesting focal range and fast aperture f1.7, awesome lens. And this one is just kind of standard. You know, if you compare the bokeh between this one and this one, I don't know who will win actually. Maybe I'll do a comparison because this one you can go to 70mm, this one goes only to 50mm, but this one is slightly faster. I mean a lot faster in terms of aperture, but it has a slightly shallower depth of field, slightly, because it's a micro four third. So yeah, that's it. Maybe in the future I'm going to do some comparison because they're all very interesting lenses. Some shootout between Leica and Zeiss is going to be interesting. Let's see the comparison, competition. But really, I think Zeiss has harnessed a very bad reputation among photographies. and online reviewers, because their optics are usually not as sharp and often beaten by third-party lens manufacturers like Samyang and even cheaper Chinese lenses. So yeah, it's very unfortunate because with the Zeiss label, it's supposed to be premium great lenses, but very often it is the opposite. It's unfortunate. On the other hand, you have Leica lenses that they are actually great optics. They're sharp, crazy sharp lenses. So yeah, that's a little bit different. So Leica is doing very good in terms of the optics, and Zeiss, I don't know, they could have done something better, but we'll see. You know, we have a lot of time to test it out, and I'm excited about these projects. All right, so that is it. I'm reviving my A7S II. If you have been following my channel, oh my god, it's been 20 minutes. If you've been following my channel, I've been shooting with a GH5 and GX85 almost exclusively in the past year and a half. And now I'm gonna mix in a little bit of A7S II action, a little bit of Sony action, finally, right? Back to A7, back to Sony full frame. Because people love full frame, people love Sony camera. All right, that's it. I'm gonna sign off here. Let me grab a shot here. Maybe get a thumbnail shot. Maybe I put all camera together, like close up, like this. All right, so you can get very nice thumbnail shots. Is it good? Is it good? Is it beautiful? Is it thumbnail worthy? I think I need to arrange this here. I'm sorry you have to sit through this. I'm not gonna edit anything because it's such a long video. So yeah, thank you for watching, and subscribe if you want to follow up, see the situation, the comparison and everything. And if you want to see more comparison or real life samples, footage, photo and video, with all these lenses and GH5 and this camera, you can follow my channel. I have a lot of sample videos shot with the GH5 with like a 10-25 and the 12-60 on my channel, so you can find them easily. Those are the recent travel kind of vlog thing, travel videos. And I always put the name of the lens and camera in the video title, so you can find it very easily. You can identify them easily. You know exactly what gear I was using. So yeah, hopefully that's gonna be helpful. And yeah, that's it. Actually, let me see if I can put it here in the foreground like that. Better. It's gonna be out of focus, but everything is the opposite direction. Mirror image. When I'm looking at a monitor, it's mirror image. Maybe I can arrange it in another way. How? Just how? Okay, I think this is good. This is good. I'm gonna keep this as a thumbnail. Alright, thank you for watching. Thank you very much for sticking around. It's been such a long video. 23 minutes. Alright, gotta stop now. Thanks. Bye.